Hello, I'm Ethan McCaffrey, and this is ReadMeSpeakMe number 163. A Friend Who Knows the Tide by Faerie at Music Faerie 15. Music is composed and performed by the narrator. The shell of your breastbone is wailing again. My cradled ear, the imperfect translator to your keening, echoing ocean of silence. I don't know how to manage my hurt, your words say. The world's mimicry, a lost whisper on your chapped lips, intimately synchronized, utterly certain. And I, one girl, two hands, many years, I weep. Raw and run ragged and raging and regretful, helpless and hell-bent, holding and held. I weep for the hurt that will never be caressed, just managed and manhandled, manipulated and multiplied out of the sheer suffocating need to be loved. Your breastbone tells me of it when it can, when it has energy enough to speak against the denial in your core. Universe made, universe deep. An impossible adversary, even for the watery maelstrom of your heart. Yet still it tries to fight, tries to gather the right words. It does not have to tell me, though, because I intimately synchronized, utterly certain, with few years and frightened loves. I, stretched thin over threadbare words, had only one lifetime-long line once. Shout and sorrow forged, stretching for miles and miles. I need to manage my hurt, I gritted. Unspeak it, undo it, unmake it. For safety and salvation and surety, I have to. That's what my breastbone would have told you. Still tells you on days of fracturing, silent and small. You can't just undo a soul brand of secrecy, you know. Minutely managed, perfectly prescribed, needing to be, and fulfilled in being. Universally understood. Universally unseen. I needed it then. Then was different, you see. Please see. Then was harsh. So my ragged edges inward turned for the sake of black and blue burnings. Punctured and punched, calloused and calm, they kept me safe for a while until I stuttered and everything crashed. I splintered, of course, and that should have been the end. But then, the unicorns, the dream weavers, the light bringers came to remind me where the wishing wells were, to take me to castles on clouds and squirrel me away to cloisters of peace I thought were forbidden. Secret blanket forts and tucked away corners meant for smaller shoulders. I shrunk and didn't shrink at all. Perfect spirit sizes in seismic layers. Unearthed in deluges of fluff and nonsense. Cocoa salved and story saved in the unorthodox halls of fairy tale, where they give me holly wreaths in legion white candles to crown my wounds, dusting snowflakes over my blue lips until they slivered and my ribs expanded, holding the hands of my ancient and unborn, until my multitudes remembered the very fundamentals of breathing, of looking in a mirror and seeing nothing but light in the frightened faces and jutting ribs, nothing but a winter queen with 2 wide eyes and a pocket full of wishes, learning to tell a story in the tender tracery of hoarfrost across a real imaginary palm, learning to talk to my bones, learning to inhale and inhale again until my heart was full of misty morning and my lungs could spasm themselves out against the nearest chest. Multitudes in tremulous toe, still not making up for all the tucked away years and tucked away authors, but starting to try. When I had enough breath to go back on script, my uncertainties crave the pages I had always known, the familiar failure to feel. But my dear ones told me no and no again, until I learned it was that line, scarred and bitter and jagged, that burning, burning line they took objection to. And they were so gentle, so breathtakingly, beautifully, boldly gentle, that even my deepest fears couldn't argue. So the script is longer, now inked in red, tattered and torn, light-stained and water-splashed and labyrinthine as the stars. That line is still at the center, but circled and crossed out, now raw and pulsing right beside a messy scribble of a no in block letters, reluctantly bound to the paper with many fingertips over many days of candlelight and darkness. Some cheeky bastard managed somehow to draw a butterfly in the middle of the O. Oh, maybe it was me. I'm not sure, but I know a little. I know 1,000 kindly hands sent 10,000 handkerchiefs, feathered pens, dreaming moth wings, puffs of cinnamon-scented air to brush the tears from my cheeks. And I know that they aren't sent from so very far or from so very many as I might think. And each time they bring me shooting moons and teacups ballets, evening gowns and mirror lakes, creased pages and soaring songs, and a distant skater's waltz, under dancing fireflies and ancient carols of love. The soft center is always a little no for the weary, weary girl who still bites and kicks and scratches the pain, her adversary to safety, her weight of 1,000 stones. Vicious when the moments get lost between cracks. Quiet when I can hear whisper a shh in her ear, and send her to the garden of dream where she weeps for what is lost and sleeps under a lullaby of fairy wings and swan song. Her marks, my marks, still come out in the wash, of course, but that's fine. My pain is a perfect patchwork soul skin for the poet in me. Empathy fluttering, expressions fleeting, but ravishingly, ravingly, really, really real sometimes. Enough times. So I only have this one word to give you now, bobbing at half tilt, incongruously small in the roiling seas unfolding behind your bruised and sandpapered eyes, swamping you, slurring you, sweeping you away. But I want to leave it with you anyway. 2 teary letters to freckle your cheek, a no with a note tucked into its fragile curves. For when your multitudes can read it, or when your bones learn how to inhale another way, take it from someone who knows, dear one, the blurry writing says. Caress your hurts. Signed, a friend who knows the tide.